Hello everyone, welcome to the Google Cloud Platform tutorials, and in this video we are going to work on continuous delivery with Jenkins and Kubernetes Engine. So first of all, we sign in into our Quick Labs account in an incognito window, and we are going to start our lab here by clicking on this button. Keep moving by checking all these things and start your lab. The first step that we need to do is to activate our Cloud Shell. We are going to do that by opening our Google console. Get your username and password from the given credentials and sign in into your Google account. And soon after your Google console opens, activate your Cloud Shell and start performing this task with the help of this given commands. The first command that we are going to use is gcloud auth list. And then we are going to check our project ID with the help of this command, which is gcloud config list project. And soon after that, we are going to the next step, which is cloning the repository. And here we are going to provide the zone. The zone is declared as US East 1D, and the region we could tell it as US East. And as you can see, the zone has been updated here. Here we are going to clone the repository, and we are going to change it to the correct directory with the help of this particular command. The next step is to create a Kubernetes cluster by provisioning this Jenkins. And here the cluster is getting created. And we need to wait until the cluster completely gets deployed. And as you can see, the cluster has been created here, and the location we have declared it as US East 1D zone, And these are all the master version, IP, machine type, node version, and the number of nodes. And you could see the status as running, and we'll check whether the task has been completed or not. Before checking whether our cluster is running or not, we need to execute this particular command, which is gcloud container clusters list. And here the cluster has been running, and to get the credentials of this cluster, we are going to execute this command. And as you could see, we are going to give the command as get credentials. In order to connect to that cluster, this command, which is kubectl cluster info, this command helps us to connect to the cluster. And the next step is to set up help. This command, we are going to use it to add help stable chart repository. Now execute this particular command, and here Jenkins has been added to the repository. And to check whether the Jenkins is in up to date or not, we are going to give this particular command. And here, as you could see, the update has been completed. And the next step is to configure and install Jenkins. That we are going to do with this particular command. And this step, it usually takes some time to complete, and we could able to see there are 3 steps involved in this particular task, and we have completed all those 3, and we'll check whether our task has been completed or not. And as you could see, we have configured and installed Jenkins, the previous step. Moving ahead, we need to connect to the Jenkins. For that, we are going to perform all these commands. And as you could see, we got the same output. And the next step is to configure Jenkins service. And this particular command, it is used to get the Jenkins UI interface. We got the same output with the names and the type of the clusters, the cluster IPs, and along with the ports. And to get the Jenkins user interface, we need to click on the web preview in our Cloud Shell. And we need to log in with the username as admin and an auto-generated password. This is going to be our password here. And we have successfully signed in into our Jenkins interface. And proceeding to our next step, these are all the things that were involved in the Jenkins container engine. Now get back to your Cloud Shell and execute this. And for the Kubernetes namespace deployment, we are going to use this. And for deploying an application, we have two different environments. One is going to be the production and other is the canary. We are going to use those both. And a task has been completed up to here. And moving ahead, we are going to create the front end here. And to retrieve the external IP, we are going to use this particular command. And in order to get this external IP, it usually takes some time. And we got the external IP here, and we are going to use it in the further step. Here, copy your external IP and open another tab. And in a new tab, we need to get the same card. with the help of our external IP that we have copied earlier. And now the next step is to use this particular command to store the front-end service load balancer IP in an environment. And now get back to your cloud shell and give this command. And now use your front-end IP use this command, and we got the same output that was displayed, which is 1.0.0. And to create Jenkins pipeline, we are going to use this. And here the warning can be ignored, and we'll see whether the task is completed or not. And as you could see, a given task has been completed. And now getting back to our module, we have completed the cloning and provisioning Jenkins and setting up an help, configuring and installing Jenkins and connecting it to the Jenkins. So this is all about continuous delivery with Jenkins in Kubernetes Engine, and thank you for watching.